Please start recording.
Welcome to Talking Banks. We're here talking. Yeah, I'm bad at texting too. I think I'm like guilty of the same criticism you have of Felix because people will message me like, and sometimes I'll wait so long to reply that I'll feel like it's too late to reply, and I won't reply at all. And it's like I had someone, or Abraham messaged me a while back. I think it was like I got off GTM and he messaged me and asked me where you go. And I didn't respond for like 3 days. Then I opened it and I thought it was too late to reply, so I just closed it.
Abe, Felix, Strauss, they all suck at texting. Everybody is talking to texting.
Eric does suck at texting. Yeah, he sucks at texting.
Strauss is like, I'm gonna read your message and then I'm never gonna reply to you.
Yeah, so the times that I rarely text Eric, but when I do, it takes forever to like get a response.
Yeah, it really does. I should just call him more often.
Yeah, I feel like I need to start doing that, like regarding I don't know, I have a bad habit of not answering my phone. I'll keep my phone on like
I do too.
Yeah, I keep it on Do Not Disturb all the times, and
yeah, and it's like if I don't know the number, I'm not gonna pick up. It's like,
oh yeah, if I don't have the number of my phone, there's no way I will pick up. And I don't know how to access my voicemail. I have my phone for 3 years. I don't know how to access it. So.
well,
I'm the last person someone wants to like try to. If someone has one phone call, like they go to the prison or some shit, like I am not your boy to call.
yeah, well, I mean,
I can't believe it's been what 7 weeks now since Utah.
only 7?
Oh, it might have been longer, 9 maybe.
Well, doesn't seem like a long time.
Hasn't been that long. It just feels like a big fucking dream to me, honestly. Like, it's so weird thinking that I went out there and met you guys. Like, I met Eric randomly online, you know? Like, back in early March, I just randomly found his YouTube channel. And then I ended up...
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Oh, okay.
Fucking crazy, though.
Do you go to college?
Yeah, my college actually starts Monday, or tomorrow, I guess, now.
Oh, same.
Mine starts. I'm on my freshman year. I took a break after high school.
I'm still a freshman technically because my first semester I only took like 3 or 4 classes, so I'm like really far behind. I need to take like summer classes to make up for it. I was gonna do it this summer, but then like all the cool shit was happening, so.
What are you majoring in?
I'm still undecided. When I first came there, I was 17 when I first enrolled, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I started out like going for like psychology, you know, but then one of my professors of psychology kind of like died on me, and then I started thinking more. I lost my like grounding in that. I lost my like. Because he was the only person that was really, he kept convincing me, like, no, you'll be fine, you know, just get, like, an internship or something. And then, like, once he wasn't there anymore as an influence, it was just kind of, you know, I don't really know if I want to go into psychology, and I don't really know what I want to go into. I definitely feel like I need to go into something that's applied, so I don't, you know, have a bachelor's degree and can't find a fucking job.
Yeah, of course. You want to get into the field as directly as possible. I'm trying to get into biochemistry, and hopefully I can get a job in California.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh shit, California's the best, dude.
I know, especially for biotechnology. We have Silicon Valley.
No, I mean, California's just straight up the best.
I know. It's
Have you always lived in California, Justin?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that we're gonna unlock some good backstory? Oh, I lived in Shanghai. Oh, no, I didn't.
Just some American. Hey, well, I guess it's better than growing up in Kentucky. There's barely
I can
anything.
imagine. Well, I can't imagine what it's like growing up in Kentucky.
Utah felt like a new planet to me.
Because there were people there?
Yeah, pretty much. It was just like, it felt so active. Like, it is so dead here. If I went out and started driving down the road right now and went into the town that I live near, there'd be no one out. Maybe some, like, meth addicts.
Utah's pretty dead, though. Like, when you compare it to California, Utah's pretty dead.
That's crazy to me because Utah seemed really active to me.
Utah's dead, dude. It's like...
It's like living out in the fucking boonies out here, man. There's nothing. There's nothing to do. There's barely anyone. I mean, most of the reason that people left is because there's just no jobs. There are really just no jobs left.
Congress created Dust Bowl.
What do you say?
It's like, I forgot where I was driving back from, but I was driving back from somewhere, and there are like signs along the road that says Congress created Dust Bowl. It just reminded me of that. I have no idea what that means, though.
Now, I hear it's a lot of, Obama did away with the jobs.
No, they've been there for a while.
A lot of it's just the coal industry is dying out, and the coal industry was pretty much the only thing this area was built on regarding jobs. And it's like, there's nothing here. It was just fucking nothing. But the environment's pretty cool, though. And because there aren't a lot of people, I mean, there are a lot of hills. Like, there's one outside my house. It's just like a forest, basically. And I can just start hiking up in there and get lost. Take me forever to find someone.
Yeah, I actually have another call coming in. I might come back later. I'll see you later.
Later, bro.
Yeah. What do you think about education reform?
What do I think about it?
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of competing private sector industries trying to replace education, public education.
I'm kind of conflicted about it. Well, part of me, like, I guess the first question I want to ask myself is, what should be the goal of education? Or if there's going to be a public education, what should the goal of it be? And I feel like, okay,
It's education for what and for whom?
That's good. That's a good point as well. The thing is, like, right now in the current education, I mean, right now literacy is something that pretty much everyone in America is literate now. You know, you rarely find people who aren't literate. But my mother used to work at the college I go to, and she said I would be profoundly, like, surprised at how many people come in there and they just can't write. They just don't know how to fucking write. And she said it just made her so sad because there were so many people who just didn't, even though they went all through high school, they lacked, like, basic arithmetic skills, basic literary skills. And she said it was just so sad that people had to go through so much extra schooling just to further their education, you know?
Because they don't pay attention to the students, they just want their jobs.
Exactly. And as part of it is, you know, because they all receive their income, you know, regardless. The other day I actually had this discussion with my dad. He was like, we were just talking about general things going on in America or whatever, and he made a statement. He said that for him personally, a teacher should be the most highly paid person out of everyone. And I was like, whoa, what makes you say that? What makes you fucking get that? And he said that the general arguments of, like, reasons why someone ought to be paid money for being a teacher. But the problem is that right now there's no way to really adjudicate.
They don't develop anything. They just give knowledge. Knowledge is pretty much free these days. They're not supplying enough value to their students.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the reasons why, you know, in high school, or why a lot of people go into the college over there, my mom would say a lot of them were, you know, just lacked basic skills, is because here, I mean, the community here, everyone really kind of knows each other. You know, a lot of the families know each other, and they're not going to fail a family they know's child because they know that family. You know, the community here is like, everyone goes to the same churches, everyone knows each other really, and it's like, they just don't want to fail their child even though their child really isn't learning anything. And the part of it is also, you know, perhaps the child is also part of it there, but the teachers really in high school, like a lot of mine, were just, they would literally sit on the phone during class and not even go over anything. And a lot of kids, they don't give a fuck. They like that shit, you know? Like, they really don't care. And it just seems like such a bad system to me, you know?
It's crazy. Teachers on their phones and just chilling, or what?
Well, they would talk to, like, I guess other teachers. I really don't know who they were talking to. A lot of the teachers also were married, too. I feel like it's a pretty common phenomenon where teachers they'll meet each other, marry in school, you know? Like, they'll have, like, maybe, like, I don't know, the math teacher will be married to the English teacher, and they'll be, like, talking to each other all day, or some shit. But the public schools here are pretty fucking awful. Now, there is a private school near here, but I don't really know how well it is, because I never went there. I don't know how good it is. But a lot of the private schools are like Baptist, like Catholic schools like that. And well, let's say one thing. The public school near here the one I went to had apparently the best academic team one of the best in the state. I think they maybe got second place in the state. I don't know, but so obviously not all the kids are dumb, but I feel like there needs to be more of a. I just don't think the teachers give a shit unless you're a part of the extracurriculum. You know, if you don't play sports here, or if you aren't part of the academic team, like,
Yeah.
they're not gonna give a fuck. Like, what you do. There was literally an alternative school here that they would send kids to if they were, like, deemed bad. Who deemed them bad? Probably the kids who had bad grades. I'd say they just fucking sent them there, and that's fucked up, you know?
Yeah, the only time people really cared about my work was in speech and debate. Other than that, everything else was just trying to get by.
Everybody knows, can feel, and behaves as though the only real things are the things that matter, namely actual competition things, because they don't have an opportunity to do non-competition real things. Everything they do is fake. So the real things matter, like debate team, sports teams, fucking academic team of some sort. Those matter because you're actually competing against the other team and you want to win, and you know you have a choice. It's like, there's no sliding you by. There's no sliding little Josie by in the debate round because you know her, right? Because she's up against little Mary, and one of them has to lose.
Fuck you, Mary.
Fuck you, Mary. You're going down.
Going down.
Yeah, I mean, that was what was so. And I had a long conversation with your mom actually about this, Eric, where it's like the reason I liked the debate format so much being there. I mean, even though there was a lot of like, you know, race pandering and shit like that, race baiting in a lot of the cases, it was still. I mean, the kids, they have to know it. They have to know the shit. You know, they have to, or they're not going to do well. You know.
Exactly. I'm concerned you're engaging in race betaphobia right now. Are you afraid of race baiters? Are you oppressing them?
Fuck race baiters. But yeah, I mean, that's what surprised me so much working with, for example, what were their names? I can't believe I forgot their names already. Brandon and Edmund.
Yeah.
I mean, those kids are smart as fuck. When they're my age, they're gonna be fucking killing it. They're gonna be killing it. They're gonna have good lives, and they deserve it. Those kids are smart as fuck.
Those are smart kids, right? The thing is, they come to you as regular kids. They come to you as smart kids, but regular kids. And the smart ones who have been desperately thirsting for debate but not aware of it, like Edmund, right? He didn't know he was desperate for debate. I didn't know he was desperate about debate until a while because he's an INTP and he didn't really show me anything for a while, you know, in typical INTP fashion. And then he turns out and you realize, man, you're here again. You're always here. Oh, you're not showing it? You're not saying things like, I'm excited to be here. You know, your expression doesn't change, but you're excited to be here, aren't you, Edmund? You know? So.
Yeah. Those two kids are fucking great. I mean, like, I know from their perspective it's probably different, but I'm so glad I got to see them, like, work when you know, I was participating in it. It's just, I will always remember that, you know, those two kids, and I hope Brandon and Edmund both, like, just go far in life, because they just fucking killed it. There were actually two kids at the, when we were there in the final competition, who, I judged one of their stuff, and they just shit on the enemy team, just fucking annihilated every single fucking argument. He was, like, calling out all the fallacies and everything, and it was brilliant. And I didn't tell them who won during the thing, or whatever. One of the mom judges actually got up and left because I was giving the kids criticisms, and she was like, "Oh, you can't You can't do that. They told us not to do that. But I ran into those kids later on at the final like event there, and I walked over to them and I was like, oh my god, you guys killed it! You guys are gonna fucking win. They didn't. They lost. But I was so happy that man, it was great. Those kids just blow my mind. I wish I would have done debate when I was in middle school. They don't have it here though. They have academic team stuff though, so I can't really use that as an excuse as if they didn't have it.
But big difference. Debate's different than academic team stuff. Because academic team stuff always involves a right answer. Debate allows you to say no, and you're demanding the right answer is a problem. In fact, you're creating discursive violence against us all. That's the only competition that lets you do that.
What Faith participated in, there's a thing here called FPS, for future problem solving, and apparently it's where they basically build cases, like kind of like in debate, but the cases are what are judged upon. They send in the cases and they judge upon that, so they don't get to actually debate it out or anything, which I wish they did because that kind of separates it out. And also, I bet all of those kids who debate are going to grow up to be great public speakers. You know, definitely. They are really well spoken. Even as middle schoolers are, their vocabulary surprised me, and how well spoken they are. It just blew my mind.
Here's the thing: I can see like David Dosh, for example, when I'm arguing with somebody and getting like meh 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 about it and stuff. I watch David Dosh sit here and do the same thing much more smoothly than I ever do it. Right? Like not angry, but still dispatching the other person and stuff like that. And I see with the kids I work with now, it's like the stuff that I'm doing currently, it seems to me, is within their grasp at a much younger age across the board, right? Like being able to successfully engage with people and use argumentation without it blowing up into a big fight. Although I'm not necessarily sure that's bad for me personally, because I kind of like it, but sometimes at least. But regardless, I think they should be way further ahead of me than way before I could ever dream of being that far ahead. Like, all the young people I meet now are way more advanced young people than your age were when I was your age.
Yeah, I mean, when those kids get, like, I haven't watched much of David Dosh. I've seen some of the videos, but I can tell he's really well spoken. It's probably because he, had that formal, the debate format to kind of formally develop his skills in, and I'm not to say that's all that contributed to it, but
it's a narrow skill set. It's a narrow enough skill set. You're saying like, okay, well, I'm going to effectively dispatch what you're bringing here and say nope, 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 yep, nope, nope, yep, right? And if you're coming in with sloppily determined things, X, Y, Z's, and A and B and C's, then that's when the nope, nope, nopes start leading into, okay, well, here's why nope, right? And then that whole thing spirals up. So people will run from the pinning monster in general, as a general gut instinct. They're going to want to avoid being pinned. I think everybody does, including me.
And it's important to learn how to like get pinned and then argue from that position. Because sometimes it's better to like, if they're trying to pin you down, you say, you know what? Yes. And once they pin you down, and then fighting from that, it makes it so much harder for them to go against you. Because I think a lot of people have a tendency, and the INTPs will do this too. Anytime something gets thrown at them, they'll try to like overstep it, put it down, and just kind of like establish a new point. But sometimes accepting their premise is good enough to win the argument. But it takes some skill to be able to differentiate and parse when you ought to do that and when not. Because there are certain times you don't want to get pinned down on certain points, One of the reasons why I enjoyed making the cases with Brandon and Edmund is that, I don't know if this is because I'm an INTP or if it's just because of how I think, but I'm a lot more well-written than I am spoken. I can write very well, but it doesn't always translate to how I come off.
I don't know, Zach. You're pretty well-spoken. Keep going, though.
But that's what the cases allowed me to sort of like sit there for a while and like get the exact words that I want in there and formulate it in a concrete, concise way that is going to be instantly translate all of our thoughts that are important and be able to present our case in a nice manner that's logically consistent. That's the most important part. But being like coming off very concise is also important.
You know what's good about that format in general for INTP as well is, and for ENTP, the scope of the plan that you're doing here, the scope of the thing you're making is of reasonable size, you're not going to want to kill yourself before beginning to climb this enormous mountain of work, right? You got to come up with a few different contentions, support them with a couple pieces of evidence, and think out a simple strategy. You know, that's why I like public forum in part.
And it's good because I feel like some in a way how my cognition works is that I'll have a general idea of something, or I almost want to say a theory of how something ought to be, and I can kind of see it's almost like a silhouette in front of me, and I seek out information to fill that silhouette up to make it, translatable to the external world, and that's how I feel like the cases were, because it was like, if we could just find a system that would be able to be completely mathematically consistent and work with our thing. And it was just like we're kind of thinking about it, we were talking about it, and I started looking into more, and I found that one system, and that's like the best feeling ever, when it's like that completion moment. You feel that the thing you were looking for is in fact manifested. It exists, and that's when it just says, feels so good.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what the topic of this was. I think it started without me, perhaps, as I went in to make my cowboy coffee.
Pretty much just Utah. We were catching up on like Utah and then public education.
We're shit shooting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Thanks for watching. Talking to people.